Welcome back to the Director's Diary. Today we are here in the picture gallery of the Kunsthistorisches Museum in room 10 to be exact, which holds Peter Bruegel the Elder's artworks. In October 2018, the world's first ever major monograph exhibition dedicated to Peter Bruegel opened here at the Kunsthistorisches Museum, and the show was referred to as a once-in-a-lifetime experience. What goes into planning such a big exhibition, and what part does a Director General play?
Well, it was obvious that we as Kunsthistorisches Museum had to do this exhibition focusing on Peter Bruegel the Elder with our 12 originals that we have, which is by far the largest collection. And we wanted to assemble as many works by Peter Bruegel the Elder, and having a collection of 12 originals, of course, was a good start. And of course, it was my role as Director General, first of all, to lead the project, but to lead the curators, to encourage them to look for the budget that we needed. It was a very expensive exhibition, as you might envision. And of course, to talk to the international lenders together with the curator. And this was such a rewarding task really for me to do.
I can imagine it probably wasn't just a once-in-a-lifetime experience for visitors, but also for everyone working on the exhibition behind the scenes. Are there any memories that specifically stick out to you from the preparations to the opening?
Well, many of them. We did tour like the Flemish countries. We had this excellent collaboration with Visit Flanders, just to also see how internationally interesting this exhibition was. And then, of course, just seeing those the crowds of people who just wanted to come in. People calling my office and said, I want to book my flights from the US, from South America, from Asia, to come and see the exhibition. So this was really exciting. And one very special moment I also have to say, of course many artists came to see the exhibition, famous artists, contemporary artists, and I remember David Hockney coming, and he came to see or to visit the exhibition after hours. And it was this very same day when in New York one of his paintings was sold at auction as the most expensive painting by a contemporary artist. And this was such a moving experience for me, seeing him, this great artist that I greatly admire. He was in silent contemplation with our Bruegel paintings, and at the very same moment his art was sold. And for him, apparently it was more important to see the Bruegel than to witness this auction. And yeah, to me this was very moving, also because it showed to us and showed to me how important, how relevant our old masters are, which big source of inspiration they still are, even though the contemporary masters now sell for much more money. But this was a very silent moment which was deeply impressing me.
And because you mentioned like audiences flocking in to see this amazing exhibition, what was the audience reaction like?
Well, they were just amazed because they had never ever seen so many paintings by Peter Bruegel the Elder, who is apparently one of the most loved artists worldwide. And then just, there is something that, once there is excitement grows. And it was just wonderful to see how they also waited to get in there, how well they were prepared, and then just to see them smile when they were looking at the paintings. And of course, our curator had this fantastic idea, not only to present the paintings that you can also see regularly in the galleries, but also to give a look behind the scenes. So we also had one painting of ours unframed to see the fragility of these paintings, and these are always moments of utmost intimacy with an artwork. And I think this is always something that every visitor, every guest, every art lover really appreciates, and this is really the moment of magic.
So speaking of art's capacity to move people, what was your earliest memory of being touched by an artwork?
I do remember that very well. I was probably about, I would say, 5 years old or
very
something
young,
like
yes.
this. I had grandparents in Vienna, and we always visited museums. And I remember at one stage we visited the Belvedere. And of course, we saw those large nude paintings by Hans Makart. And I was just, as a 5-year-old, these large dimension nude paintings, and I was just fascinating. I was staring at them, and then my grandfather came and pulled me away and said, "That's nothing for you." And of course, I followed, and so I was pulled away from those wonderful paintings. And when I came back to Vienna as a student of art history, of course, I visited the museums again, and of course, I visited the Belvedere, and all of a sudden, I was confronted with those Makart paintings, and I had these recollections of my personal past. And I just said, "Well, I don't understand why I was not allowed to watch them when I was a 5-year-old kid." But I had this very intimate, very personal dialogue with art from very early age on.
Well, thank you so much for talking about Bruegel and your own personal experiences with art. In the next episode, we're going to be moving to the Cupola Hall and talking a little bit more about our popular event series, the Kunsthistorischen. Thank you.